You're listening to Mortgage Lending Mastery. Get the knowledge you need to advance your mortgage practice quickly and efficiently from Jen Duplessis, America's mortgage mastery mentor with over 37 years of experience and over $1 billion in lifetime fundings. Jen has been mentoring loan officers and realtors for over 15 years and speaking on stages across the globe. So settle in and get ready as Jen and her guests share their experience, passion, and strategies to help you crack the top producer code to reach new heights in your business. And now, here's your host, Jen Duplessis, Mortgage Mastery Mentor and head chick in charge of Kinetic Spark Consulting.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to this episode. I'm Jen Duplessis. I want to say thank you so much for spending time with us today, listening to this great podcast. We've been doing this for 9.5 years now. I'm so excited. I can't believe we'll hit that 10-year mark very soon. Amazing. Amazing how time's flown. I want to remind everybody, if you've not followed us, please go ahead and follow us now. And make sure that you are subscribing to our YouTube channel where we have this video there as well. So you have your audio and then you have your video. Last but not least, a quick reminder that we do have a limitless 3-day event coming up shortly. So make sure that you're clicking on the link below to register for that event. And I believe by the time this particular podcast comes out, we'll be promoting our event for May in Arizona. So get yourself there, spend 3 days with us. We'd love to have that opportunity to meet with you and share some ideas to help your business continue to grow. And with that said, I want to bring on our guest. It's my honor to bring on Ana Maria Sanin. She's actually been on this podcast before. We were talking about it, saying we think we've been on this show before. We met years and years ago down in Florida, and it's just great to have you back on the show. So welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited to be here again. Thank you for this opportunity to share with your audience once more.
My pleasure. My pleasure. So let me tell you a little bit about Ana Maria. She's a speaker and faith-based entrepreneur, AKA the confident closer. We're going to talk about some of that today. And she spent her career transforming professionals and businesses. She's nationally recognized for the quality of service and brand enablement. We're going to be talking about branding here. As well, but starting her branding journey as an image at the image consulting level for fashion and accentuating the light of others became her calling card. Growing the service to individual style to personal and business branding and digital marketing was a natural evolution for her, and that's what brings her today. I'm really curious. So welcome to the show again. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really curious how going from an individual style of personal and business branding and digital marketing can equate to a confident closer. So share with us a little bit about that. I certainly understand personal and business branding, but how does that transcend into confident closing?
So, Confident Closers, first of all, it was a brand that I created for myself. While I was building my presence on social media, I needed to come up with a name, right, that represented not only myself, but also what I'm about, right, and how others can become confident as well. How does it relate? I mean, so it started, one of the reasons why I started with women or even personal style to business, it was really to help. Well, first it started with individuals, but to really help them understand that they are their brand. And so once you understand you are your brand, you understand that who you are internally translate outwardly, right? And knowing that, identifying that gives you the confidence to do ABC, whatever it is for that, for that individual. And so, it's confidence. It's the ability to believe that you can, is the ability to, really believe, know who you are and move to the next phase or level, however that applies to the individual. But yeah, that's where it came about.
Yeah, though that's interesting. Yeah, because I was reading your bio earlier today, and I was like, I want to have to ask that question. So I know you talk a lot about the fact that your SEO is your CEO, right? And that I call it You Inc., right? You Incorporated, because it really is You Inc. But talk to us a little bit about what that means in today's world, because you know, a lot of people talk about SEO as it relates to websites or as it relates to Google searches, not so much in the social media piece of it as it is, you know, in those other modalities. But how does that relate to it being our CEO? Because all of us are entrepreneurs and all of us are, you know, and in this context here for this particular podcast, we are mortgage entrepreneurs. But how does that relate to us being the CEO? How does the SEO become our CEO?
Absolutely. I love this. So as CEO, we are the chief executive officers of our business. We lead the vision, we set the vision, we lead the strategy, right? And everyone else under us or who is helping us execute in the different levels or pillars of our business, they all based on the CEO's vision, then they implement and execute to make sure that they're hitting the KPIs and that at the end of the day, they're reaching their end goals. So for those who are not aware of SEO, what does it stand for? It's search and your search optimization, search engine optimization. And I started thinking there for a minute because I have a different definition for it. It's not just your search engine optimization, but it's your search executive officer. And so and that's the truth. SEO, it's the foundation. It is what holds everything in the digital space that gives you then the strategy, or it gives you the foundation that you need to execute, whether you're going to go do social media or you're going to do email marketing, you're going to do you're going to go create a website, or you're now, once you create a website, like how do you build the credibility? How do you provide content that's relevant so that the search engines or the digital world, right, understands that you have what their customer is searching for. So that's why, my talk nowadays, it's really helping CEOs understand that if the SEO strategy is not there and anything they want to do digitally, they're going to be spinning their wheel. They're going to be spinning their wheels and really get frustrated. And as most listeners, I'm sure there's times where you're investing so much money on marketing, you're paying a social media manager, you're paying, a person to go do paid per clips, but the SEO strategy foundation is not there. And that's why you're not getting an ROI. That's why you feel, or we feel sometimes that, digital marketing doesn't really work. So SEO is the foundation. And I love what you had mentioned, we think of SEO as a website or, the search engines ranking, but SEO really, the three main components of SEO is keyword research, it's also being relevant, right? So making sure that everything that it's on the web, it's relevant, what you're sharing or where people are going. And then number three, the other main component is credibility, right? And so what are others saying about you? And so how do we do that in the web? With linking to other platforms, being registered in where your business needs to be registered, and creating that content. And so for social media, SEO applies too, because if you have an SEO foundation, once you put a strategy together for social media, well, if the foundation is there, you have the right word key research, right? That relates to anything else that's already on the web for that specific brand. So SEO applies to everything and anything you do on the digital space, just like a CEO would be a must and a need in the physical space to start a business, or have a business.
So search executive officer. Right. Okay. Because I'm HCIC, head chicken charge.
Head chicken.
That's what my husband calls me, at least, and so we laugh about it all the time. All these acronyms that we have for different things, it's pretty amazing. Okay, so sounds wonderful. So tell us a little bit about how you got into this space and where your expertise and credibility comes from.
Oh, yes. So I mortgage, like most of us, we just sort of stumbled into it, but no. So previously to mortgage, I was working on, and that's where the image consulting and everything comes about. I was really working on building a career or building a business that would support women speaker coaches, to help them show up more confident and authentic. And so working with their image gave me an opportunity to really dive deep into how they feel, who they feel they are, how they're talking to themselves. And based on that, being able to help them maybe overcome whatever challenges they were having internally and help them then own their personality, their style through their wardrobe. So started working in the mortgage industry with a client. And so basically that's how I landed in the mortgage space. I worked in the space or I have been working in the space, for now plus 7+ years. But with that said, I started as a business developer, and as a business developer, I knew where I was strong at, and it was helping people develop their own personal brands, really build a presence for themselves on the web, being that everybody was stressed out or concerned about generating leads or the competition. And so, I highly believe that there is no competition if you're speaking to your target directly and you're being able to build that like, know, and trust that we know it's necessary for any relationship. So with that, I have been doing branding and social media marketing for 7+ years, even before the mortgage, because I was doing it for myself as I was, carving my own path. And from there, 2020 came, and I decided that I was going to jump off the cliff once more and go on my own and open up my own agency to work with the mortgage professionals that I had been working previously, but just maybe in one bank. Now I could work with everyone else. And so, and then it was just perfect timing for the industry, right? I mean, there had been so much, not wanting, there's so much resistance, right, from the mortgage space on branding, on really putting themselves on social. And after COVID, the industry went up and everybody needed to be seen. And so that's when I decided to launch the agency. I am one that I believe that we must master the first 2 or 3 things that we do know before we move into the next phase. And that's exactly what I did. It's been 2 and 3 years since I decided to open up the agency and provide the services to the mortgage space. And now we are relaunching, rebranding, and really having a holistic digital marketing approach to every individual or company that we work with, and basically being able to do more than just website, social media, and branding, but really helping them drive leads through PPC, again, SEO, being able to nurture their database and create those internal campaigns to continue to stay top of mind within their audience. So I am certified in SEO, content creation, inbound marketing. I mean, you think of all the certifications and within the space. I make sure that I got them all because I believe that knowledge is freedom, and knowledge also gives you power. And so if I want to serve my audience, I had to make sure that I know everything that my team needs to know to execute from there. But my credibility, I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, no, you totally did. I mean, and it shows where your experience comes from, and really where your love is. And, and thank goodness you were able to tap into the mortgage space, because it's a huge space to be able to be in. It's a very niche space. Hence the reason I do coaching in the mortgage space as well. And I don't deviate from that anymore. I used to deviate and, help real estate agents. And I said, nope, I'm done. I only do more, I only coach mortgage loan officers. I obviously help other businesses, but I do that through my masterminds. That's mentoring. It's not coaching. It's totally different. But yeah, and I think that this is, I know for myself, it happened, for many people, it happened, that are speakers and coaches. I had random acts of marketing. If my flight was late, I'd say, oh, maybe I should do a video sitting here on the airplane. And COVID really launched us into, coming up with a strategy for it. But I want to talk specifically about this strategy right now because, we all know what we're encountering, right? We're in inflation, we're in high rates, we're in low volume. We already know the story that already exists. And now we have a meltdown that's happening with the banking industry, and we don't know what that's going to look like. So we've got what would appear to be a lot of gloom and doom. But what I've really been sharing with my students lately is that we need to be ready for when happens, because it will. It's another cycle. I have 40 years in this industry, 4 decades doing this. It will come back. It will be great, but it will only be great if you're prepared for it.
Yes.
So what would you say to people that are listening to this that have been dabbling in social media, and we'll call it SEO, even though they may not even know if they're doing that or not, but they've been doing some dabbling and maybe random acts of marketing and things like that? What do you say to people that are knowing where everybody's at and knowing where everyone wants to be positioned? What should they be doing? Maybe you could give us 1 or 2 quick tips on what they should be doing on a consistent basis.
Number 1, do not stop your marketing budget. Okay. And I think everybody, that needs to be clear. Like your marketing must continue, because like you said, it's going to come back.
Yeah.
And this is the time to really continue to build that momentum for when the time comes.
Yeah.
But really what I would tell everybody right now, and something that people might not think it's as powerful as it was in the past, which is a misbelief that we have, it's email marketing. You should be taking care of your database right now, cleaning up your email list, and making sure that you are engaging with your audience on a very friendly matter, from a value standpoint, from a servant standpoint, providing sharing with your audience, personal things, but from a universal standpoint, right? How is this certain thing really, if it's a personal maybe experience, right? How does that relate to everybody else? So what's the emotion, what's the outcome, or what's the problem of that experience, and share from that space. But you personalize it by sharing your story. But I would say,
can you give us an example of that? Because I'm not quite following along with that. I just want to make sure I can, so that I can follow along with that. Can you give us an example of that you
absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you recently purchase, let's say you recently made a big purchase, or you decided to travel with your family, right? And so you would think, well, why do I want to tell people about, my travel? I mean, why would they care? But if we're sharing your travel, not because we want people to know about, how it was when you went to Japan with your family, but you're sharing it from the space of, I gave myself the freedom to step away from my business, and the outcome of that, we talk about quality of time, which then fired me up to come back strong into the business to serve you, kind of thing, right? So we're utilizing a personal story, not to tell you about my trip, but to tell you my ahas, right? To tell you how that transformed me in a way or another, which is that emotion which we can all relate with. So even if I can't relate with your trip, but I can relate with how you feel and what that did to you by giving yourself the time or doing ABC, I can relate to that, and I'm going to be appreciative of that, because maybe the one reading your email, I might be the one saying, man, I really I need to stop procrastinating on giving myself, a self-care day per se. Right.
Yeah. Sharpening your axe. Yeah. Sharpening your axe day. Okay.
So,
thank you. Thanks for clarifying. Cause I know my audience is going, wait a minute, I didn't understand that. And so I have to be the one to ask all the questions.
Please do. Please do.
Okay. So that was number 1. Number 2, you said, and number 2, and then I cut you off. So what is the second thing you'd like to give us a suggestion on?
Start doing, well, number 1, email marketing. Don't stop that. Don't
right.
and start it. Number 2, if you're going to, so if you're doing social media and if you're doing email marketing, right? Make sure that your social media, it's also it relates to your email that went out this month. So let's say if the main point of my email this month was about looking at the bright side, or not thinking that the grass is greener on the other side, then are my social media posts supporting that, the grass
Right.
not being greener on the other side?
Right.
So don't separate one thing from the other. Make sure that everything you're doing from a virtual standpoint on the web and, in that space, that it all speaks to one another, so
Yeah.
that people are not hearing one thing here and then they can't really follow on your brand because you're talking about something else. And it's sort of like, hey, here's this, but then you're just sort of dropping it if you're not implementing that same message throughout what you're
Okay.
doing.
Yeah. And I want to be clear on this too, because someone listening might say, so let's take the grass is greener, or the bright side. Cause I know a lot of people are saying, well, yeah, I know, I'll just go to another mortgage company and everything will be better. No, we're still in this together. We still need to work on this together and be focused, right? Hyper focused exactly where you're at. So you might have a meme that says, it has a quote about the grass is greener, and it might be green, and you might have a story, you might have just a quote or a question that's about, how often do you change jobs, or whatever it is. I know I'm being silly with some of this, but you're saying that thread is through everything that you're doing. It doesn't mean that you can't say, oh, and by the way, I'm having a webinar on how to understand credit. It doesn't mean that you can't put those things out, but you're saying to have a theme throughout the whole month that threads through, that everybody's saying, that's that grass is green chick, and that's the, whatever it is. And she's having a webinar.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's about, creating those campaigns. So let's say identifying your theme for the month based on what you're talking about, and really having every other platform that you're utilizing to communicate and deliver value support that. And like you said, it doesn't mean we're not going to post the other things, but we're constantly supporting our message or what we believe in or what we're sharing throughout the month.
That undertone. Yeah. And I just want to make sure that was clear for everybody, because I do know some people will listen to this and go, oh, okay, so I'm going to stop posting everything else and I'm just going to do that. And so I can't do my webinar this month, or I can't do, my cookies and whatever, cocktails.
Yeah.
Making sure. Right. They
And
know.
here's another thing that I highly recommend. I mean, if you guys, we're about to start April. So for whoever that is listening really wants to start implementing this strategy, and being laser focused on this, do a research on words, right? And so what are people, and there's some great platforms available. I think one is Ask the Market. I'll share it with you, Jen, and you can once this is sent, I'll share it with you. But you can really just what are people asking, and so specific to your market, and identify if you're targeting a local neighborhood, make sure that you're adding and you're constantly talking about that neighborhood. The name of that neighborhood is popping, or from your research on Google, you found that people are always asking for ABC, whatever that is. Well, make sure that your content for that month, based on your campaign, on your theme, and what you're doing, that you're using it throughout, because SEO applies. When we think of SEO, when we think of the Google, it's a world in itself, and that world has its own culture, has its own language, and has its own way of its infrastructure, has its own way of communicating, functioning, and doing to get results. And so as long as we understand that, and we're trying to, always better the way we communicate and fit into that culture, SEO applies in everything and anything that's in the digital space.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. No, I absolutely love that. All right. So what would you like to leave us with? Do you have a quote? Do you have a mantra? Is there a book that you're reading right now that you would like to leave us with?
I just finished this great book. Hold on one second.
This is what's so great about the video, right? Is that you get to see her getting up and going into something.
Daring Greatly.
Daring Greatly. And
Yes.
who's it by?
This is by Brene Brown.
Okay.
Maybe it's like Bren, Brene Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Brene Brown.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I'm actually gonna read this for the second time. I read it the first
Wow. Good.
like, this is such a great book that I have to read for the second time. So I highly recommend this book. What else would I leave you guys with? I mean, you can always follow me on, Instagram, The Confident Closer. You can find me on LinkedIn as Ana Maria Sanin. And if you guys have any questions, I do this free discovery calls. I'd love to sit with you guys and, provide as much knowledge to help you overcome whatever those obstacles are. But other than that, I'm just grateful that I'm here, Jen. And if I'm all about, helping people really overcome by giving them the knowledge that they need so they know what they need to know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally agree. And and I've learned from what you're talking about too, especially in the themes, is that and I talk about themes all the time to my clients, but I don't transcend that into my social media posting, which I don't do, my team does. But it's we don't have necessarily a theme that's going through that. So thank you so much, because I learned something. This is why I do the podcast. It's all self-serving.
Absolutely.
I'm teasing. It's not. After doing it this long, it is definitely not self-serving. But yeah, I love
but
learning.
subliminally, it does really help us. So
It totally does.
I hear you. 100%.
Yeah, it totally does. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day to share with us this beautiful information. If you want to connect with her, we'll have the links in the show notes, so you can reach out to her and just let her know that you heard about her or heard her on Mortgage Lending Mastery, so that she can tie the two connections together. And with that, we want to say thank you so much again for being with us, Ana Maria. I really appreciate it. It was great having you on the show again. And for you listening, thank you for taking time out of your busy day. And please, again, don't forget to give us a great 5-star rating and write some beautiful comments about what you learned from Ana Maria, so that we know that we will continue and can continue to give you exactly what you're looking for. Go out and make it a great day. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Mortgage Lending Mastery. Be sure to subscribe to hear more sales tips, ideas, strategies, and tactics to help you with your personal and professional growth to multiply your results in record time. And if you like what we're doing, don't forget to give us a rating and review so we can continue to bring you the best content possible. Wanting more beyond the podcast? Join our Mortgage Lending Mastery membership community, where you will find extended interviews with our favorite guests, weekly training, tips, and insider secrets, fireside chats with Jen, free content, meet, share, and collaborate with other members, and so much more. Click the link in the show notes to learn more about this exclusive content. Mortgage Lending Mastery is an Industry Syndicate charter podcast. Industry Syndicate is the first podcast network specifically for the mortgage and real estate industries. Get the Industry Syndicate app in the App Store or Google Play today.